Good evening. My name is Morgan Curry, and it is my honor to serve as the 2021 Swan Board President. Thank you for joining us tonight as we celebrate inspirational women in Skagit County. We are coming live from the Transmedia Vision Studio in downtown Mount Vernon. Before we begin our program, I want to note that we are offering simultaneous Spanish interpretation. To use this feature, please switch your audio channel to Spanish. You can do this by clicking the interpretation globe at the bottom of your meeting screen. We would like to give a huge shout out to all of our amazing sponsors, especially our co-presenting sponsor, Skagit Publishing. Tonight, we will get the opportunity to recognize and award 4 women in the categories of professional achievement, mentorship of women, community engagement, and our newly award category, Transformative Leadership. Additionally, we will recognize and award our Lifetime Achievement recipient and Rising Swan, as well as highlight our 2021 Scholarship Awardees. We will also get the esteemed privilege of hearing from our keynote speaker, Dr. Laura Flores Caillou, and our inspirational speaker, Janie Beasley. Let's start us off with a land acknowledgement. Swan operates on the lands of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Stillaguamish, Skagit, and Swinomish peoples, whose ancestors have resided here since time immemorial. Even though we meet here via Zoom, we have the responsibility to acknowledge our Indigenous connections, as well as histories of disposition, displacement, and subjugation that have allowed for the creation, growth, and survival of this organization. Many Indigenous people thrive in this place, alive and strong, albeit the afterlives of these traumas are deeply felt and experienced in Indigenous communities. Swan is sincerely committing to respect and enhance Indigenous sovereignty through the power of stories, truth, and integration of diverse voices. Our first award presentation this evening is our 2021 Swan Lifetime Achievement Award. It is an honor to present this award to Diane Goddard. Diane is a lifelong advocate for marginalized groups in the legal system. She is currently a presiding judge at Skagit County District Court. Diane was the first woman attorney in San Juan County, New Mexico, working with and advocating for victimized women of the Navajo people, in a time when these cases were ignored by previous prosecutors. Diane was a pioneer in bringing an end to this hateful exclusionary practice. After that, Diane moved to Skagit County and served as a deputy prosecutor, where she continued to advocate for victims of sexual assault and domestic violence, an effort that evolved into what is now the Skagit Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Services Program, better known as DBSAS. In the 1980s, Diane was the first woman to take a date rape case to trial. She was also the first person to take a date rape case to trial. She has dedicated her entire career to address the issues of domestic violence, child abuse, and sexual assault, both as a prosecutor and as a private practice attorney. Because of Diane, women of all backgrounds have a stronger voice in the courtroom and are able to receive more support in harmful situations. Please join me in welcoming Diane Goddard, our 2021 Swan Lifetime Achievement Award recipient.
Thank you, Morgan. I'd like to thank the women of Swan for choosing me for this award. These women represent the very best in community involvement, enterprise, and spirit, and I'm honored to be recognized by such accomplished individuals. Thank you also to Attorney Tracy Finnegan for nominating me, and to Judge Jennifer Housen and Superior Court Commissioner Heather Shand for their support. And particular thanks to Judge David Sferrin and Warren Gilbert for first giving me the chance to work as a court commissioner and for supporting my goals of being a district court judge. Anyone who enjoys success in life never achieves that success alone. To paraphrase Mr. Rogers, there are always helpers. Help may come from a teacher or mentor, from a life partner or friend, from a colleague or coworker. I won't be able to thank everyone who has helped me over the years, but a few people deserve special mention. First of all, Lou Parker. I had the pleasure of working with Lou when I was a baby prosecutor back in 1979. Lou was my legal assistant, and when I went into private practice, she joined me as a paralegal. She possessed a number of essential qualities that I frankly lacked: a talent for organization, math skills sufficient to balance a trust account to the penny, and the ability to run an efficient law office. I would not have enjoyed the success that I have in my career without Lou's phenomenally organized and brilliant mind. As an added bonus, she has a wicked sense of humor and is fun to work with, always optimistic, upbeat, and ready to laugh. We still consider each other family, and I really can't thank her enough. I also want to thank my mentors. As a new lawyer, I did not have women ahead of me in the practice to give me advice, but in Skagit County, a number of experienced, skilled male lawyers served as my mentors while I was establishing my private practice. Hugh Ridgway, John Ward, Bud Gilbert, George McIntosh all willingly took my calls and answered any obscure question I threw at them. On Tuesday, I received an unexpected email from George McIntosh congratulating me on the award and sharing a memory from a case we negotiated when I was a new prosecutor. George just celebrated his 98th birthday, and we hadn't stayed in touch since he retired. Nevertheless, he took time to congratulate me and wish me well. I was beyond touched. George, in particular, not only gave me valuable advice about how to be a good lawyer, but by his example demonstrated every day the qualities of a good judge: calm, respectful, compassionate, humble, attentive, and fair. I try really hard to follow his example. I hope I have paid forward the support I've enjoyed throughout my career by mentoring lawyers, court commissioners, and judges who are new to their careers. As I say, I've been very fortunate in my life, but really mostly because of the help of others. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Diane, for all of your hard work. Each year, Swan awards an up-and-coming professional woman. This is a woman who excels in mentoring or empowering her peers, who embraces transformative leadership, who are actively engaged in the community, and who are thriving in their profession. This year, it is our honor to award the 2021 Rising Swan to Anna Rivas. I'm going to say a few things about Anna, and then invite her up to accept her award and snap a quick picture. And then Anna will get the opportunity to share her acceptance speech with us tonight. Anna was born and raised in Mount Vernon and is a first-generation high school and college graduate. A daughter of Mexican immigrants, Anna is a fervent advocate for migrant families. She is the program coordinator for Welcome Baby for United Way and works feverishly to bring resources to marginalized groups. Being a first-time mother to a young daughter, Anna uses her personal experiences to ensure that families of young children have equitable access to basic needs. Additionally, she is pursuing a BA of Applied Management at Skagit Valley College and plans to further her education in social work. Anna is a transcending leader with the utmost enthusiasm and charge for social change. Please join me in welcoming Anna Rivas, our 2021 Rising Swan.
Hi everyone. I am so honored to have been recognized as this year's Rising Swan. I am more honored because I am getting this award with women who are assets to my community. I remember receiving the email saying I was nominated as the 2021 Rising Swan. When I read the nomination letter that Dr. Laura Flores Caillou had submitted, I cried. How could someone write so much about me? I first met Laura through Latino Leadership last year. The program taught me how to identify my strengths and use them as tools. I learned how to challenge myself positively and gained leadership skills. Thank you, Laura. I will forever be grateful because you inspired me to enable a better version of myself and see things in a different perspective. While growing up, I lived in a low-income immigrant community. My parents worked full-time jobs, and interaction with them was very limited. One of the biggest eye-openers I encountered was when my dad was detained by immigration. I became very passionate about helping my community. I used my personal experiences to help immigrant families. I want to thank Carol Edward and Anita Sanchez for keeping my family together, inspiring me and believing in me. Your passion for advocating and standing up for immigrant rights is what motivated me to help others. 2 years ago, I experienced the Motherhood Journey. A new passion arose, and that was to help out mothers in need. Being a first-time mother and coming from a Hispanic household motivated me to be an outreach source for other Hispanic mothers, or mothers in general. Thank you, Diana Peregrina, for always motivating me, guiding me, and pushing me out of my comfort zone. Thank you for believing in my abilities, being my cheerleader along the way. I am very lucky to have you as a mentor and a friend. People always ask me, how do you do it all? Everything I do for the community wouldn't be possible without my support system. This is not something I do alone. So many people contribute to my success. I want to take this time to thank my family and my friends for supporting me. In particular, I want to thank my parents and my husband because they always go above and beyond for me. My mother is another woman who deserves to be recognized. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here today. She supports me tremendously. With school, with my daughter, she's there. After I get out, after a long day, she never judges my decisions. She's my pillar that holds me up when I'm down. It takes a community to make things happen, and I'm lucky to be part of this one. Thank you, Swan, for recognizing the outstanding women of my community. Thank you.
Congratulations, Anna, and thank you for your tireless work in the community. It is a privilege of mine to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Laura Flores Caillou. Laura has spent her whole life engaging in justice-seeking community service. She continued the work of her father, Alan Caillou, addressing health disparities in tribal communities while working in a tribally controlled health advocacy organization. She followed the footsteps of her mother, Adela Flores Caillou, a first-generation Mexican-American, community organizer and educator by becoming a community college faculty member and administrator. During her tenure at Skagit Valley College, she's held a variety of roles, including but not limited to faculty, department chair, special assistants to the president for equity and inclusion, and vice president for the Whidbey Island campus and centers. She currently serves as department chair for sociology and ethnic studies and curriculum manager for Leadership Skagit. She also is involved with Leadership Whidbey and the Latino Leadership. Laura was instrumental in the development of Leadership Skagit, the Latino Business Retention and Expansion Program, and Leadership Whidbey, along with the Latino Leadership Program. Her work has been recognized with an EDASC Partnership Award, a Swan Award, the SVC Equity and Exceptional Faculty Awards, among others. She has an MBA from Portland State University and a doctorate in educational leadership and policy studies from University of Washington, with a dissertation focused on creating welcoming and inclusive cultures in higher education for Latino students. To all, I give you Dr. Laura Flores Caillou.
Thank you. It's such an honor to join in shining a light on the work of the Swan Business and Professional Women of the Year, Lifetime Achievement winner, and the Rising Swan Award winner. I'm just so completely in awe of these women. I also want to recognize the volunteers with Swan who have continued this organization's purpose of recognizing exceptional business and professional women in our community. Even now, even in this pandemic, for 37 years. This year, we are honoring remarkable women who have embodied lives of justice seeking in these times when we so desperately need that courage to confront uncomfortable truths. And I couldn't be more proud of the Swan organization for choosing to uplift women whose impact and stories are often unheard. I was 42 when I last addressed this group as a recent Swan Award recipient. I remember at that time having a conversation with a colleague about race. It was kind of a joke, but not really. But I said, I hope that no one noticed that I was a woman of color. It was what I had been socialized to do by my family, to make my difference invisible, to navigate and perform to assure the comfort of others, so I would be safe, so I could gain proximity to power, and thus secure more opportunity for myself and my family. 16 years later, I know that choosing comfort and safety is no longer tenable, a tenable stance when the needs of the world are so great. Every platform, every interaction needs to be a moment of choice, a moment to choose courage, to say what needs to be said now, a moment to choose to include and center the voices of the people who have been unheard, and not just address or help an individual, but to dig into the systems that need to change, to examine the practices that need to be performed differently, to enlarge our understanding of complex social issues by gathering more than a single story, to be brave, choosing courage over comfort every time. So here are some questions I think we should ask ourselves in this moment. If I'm not working toward removing the disparities in health outcomes based on race that were made visible through the pandemic, have I chosen comfort over courage? Likewise, having seen the vital importance of frontline workers, if I am not centering their needs, have I chosen comfort over courage? If I have not engaged in reducing the widening disparities in wealth in our community, have I chosen comfort over courage? If I have not supported equity initiatives to reduce disparities in educational outcomes, have I chosen comfort over courage? And if the image of George Floyd no longer haunts me and drives me to seek race reconciliation in our country, have I chosen comfort over courage? Our day-to-day choices are life and death decisions. Although it may not seem like it when we choose to report health data disaggregated by race, or we choose to invest in additional educational programming to compensate for wealth disparities. But truly, this is how high the stakes are. The women who founded Swan in 1984 were standing on the shoulders of the second wave feminists of the 1970s. Their work was courageous and changed the law and the professional opportunities for women, but not all women. Just like the civil rights movement that came before and took the safer, more politically expedient strategy of pushing LGBTQ members out of the forefront of their movement, similarly, the efforts of the women's liberation movement centered white cisgendered women. When the moment required our predecessors to expand their thinking beyond the single dominant story, they did not seek out those that were invisible and wonder how they could uplift and make them whole. So my challenge to myself and all of us is to find the stories of those marginalized in our community, stand in solidarity in their struggle, and uplift their message as we move towards a more just society. That is the intersectional feminism we need today. We need to continue to expand the tradition of Swan, shining a light on the power of women, to include the stories of all women, and to highlight the courageous acts that will create a more just, healthy, and sustainable community. And I ask that you do this with the fiercest kind of love that all you mama bears, chingonas, women of courage and substance, and badass women know how to do so well. Because, as Martin Luther King said, power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice, and justice at its best is power correcting everything that stands against love. Love hard, be courageous, be kind.
Thank you, Laura, for your courage and radical empathy. Your leadership is a blessing to our community. It is an honor to introduce our inspirational speaker next. Janie Beasley is one of 10 children born and raised on the Swinomish Reservation to Indigenous parents. She graduated from LaConner High School, attended Seattle Central Community College and Skagit Valley College, as well as Northwest Indian College. Janie also served in the U.S. Navy Reserves. Janie has been working in the Swinomish tribe since 1979 in various roles and currently serving as the Tribal Enrollment Assistant. Additionally, Janie serves on leadership Skagit committees, the Swinomish Planning Commission, Protect Mother Earth Committee, Skagit Valley College Foundation Board, and the Higher Education Community Advisory Board. Janie is instrumental in keeping her native language alive. She teaches the Lushootseed language to the community and in the LaConner School District. Janie has an amazing story to share with us.
O Slig Walapu, Hat Tid Siaya, Hat Tid Ished, Janie Seedsdat, Tulal Chud Swadabj. Welcome, my good family and my good friends. My name is Janie, and I am Swinomish. I'm from a family of 10 children born and raised on the Swinomish Reservation. I went to work when I was 14 years old. After graduating from high school, I attended Seattle Central, moved home for a period of time, and then joined the Navy Reserves. I worked in many different offices in Skagit County, which gave me knowledge and skills. I met my husband in 1973. We were married in 1974. We had our daughter in 1975 and our son in 1979. We bought a home in Anacortes and lived there until 1982 when we returned to LaConner. I am now one of 5 surviving siblings, but my biggest loss was my beautiful daughter. At 21 years of age, she married her best friend, who was a fisherman. They were fishing in Samish Bay when their boat sunk. I thank God for my faith and for my family. I would not have survived without them, but life goes on. In September of this year, my 42-year-old son gave me a beautiful granddaughter. I am very happy and very proud of little Mira Jessica. There are currently over 80 people in my family with my siblings and their spouses and their children, and now their children are having babies. We have about 30 family members working for the tribe, which I attribute to my father, who had strong work ethics. I have met and worked with many wonderful people in the community through EDASC, Skagit Valley College Foundation Board, Leadership Skagit, Marathon Advisory Panel, to name a few, because we need to be part of the community we live in. I'm thankful for my mother, my father, and my grandparents who endured historical and generational trauma and taught us to survive. We were taught to do everything with a good heart and a good mind. I've also had the privilege of learning and teaching Lushootseed language in the schools and in my community, because language and culture were taken away in the boarding school era, where the motto was kill the Indian, save the man. Proudly, tribes are bringing back their culture and their language. I am extremely proud of this year's Women of the Year, Julie, Iris, Tina, and Claudia. Congratulations to Diane Goddard for the Lifetime Achievement Award, and to our rising swan, Anna Rivas. Thank you, Morgan, and your team for the time and effort you put into this group. They have honored 52 women over the last 36 years. It is my honor and privilege to now introduce you to the Canoe family, who will share with you an Eagle Blessing song.
Thank you, Janie and the Canoe family, for sharing your histories with us. It is my pleasure to pass the program over to our scholarship chair, Heather Shand, who will introduce our 2021 Swan Scholarship Awardees.
Good evening. My name is Heather Shand, and I am a board member of Swan. I currently serve as the scholarship chair of Swan, and I am honored and pleased to be here tonight to announce the winners of our scholarships for the 2021 year. Swan awards scholarships to women in Skagit County who have a bachelor's, master's, or PhD degree and are looking to enhance their education by furthering their education and giving back to our community. Our first winner is Anna Mendoza. She is currently working at Burlington Edison School District in the Allen Elementary School, where she is a bilingual resource specialist, and she's been there for 5 years. She's attending the University of Washington, where she'll be majoring in education, community, and leadership. She's a member of the National Honor Society at the University of Washington and was honored to be the keynote speaker at the National Migrant Conference in Kentucky. She is a published author. She wrote a Migrant Leaders Club book called Dream Fields that contains stories of migrant students in Skagit County. She's very passionate about supporting our community, making connections with teachers and students. She's trilingual in Mixteco, Spanish, and English. She loves kids and being there to support them when they need their help. Cynthia Aguirre is a mother and leader in our community. She's been a member of the Skagit County community for 31 years, and she has 3 children, ages 11, 15, and 19. She is a secretary for the Director in Teaching and Learning in the Mount Vernon School District, where she provides support to all district buildings assessing data and meeting state compliance reporting requirements. She is attending Skagit Valley College to obtain her Bachelor of Applied Science in Applied Management. She intends to provide outreach and re-engagement services to our youth in our schools, along with providing Spanish interpretation, translation, and services to our staff, students, and families in the Valley. Our next recipient is Tamara Holmes. She immigrated to the United States from Russia in 2015. She began her education at the Bellingham Technical College in 2017 with a hope of obtaining a dental hygienist degree. She earned her dental assisting credentials in 2019. She then worked in public health for 1 year before she returned to the very highly competitive dental hygiene program at the Bellingham Technical College. She's a volunteer for the Friends of Central Skagit Library. She lives in Cedar Woolley, and she loves hiking with her husband and her daughter. Our next recipient is Dania Lopez Jamarillo. She is a Mexican immigrant woman who has resided in Skagit County for over 16 years. She's a graduate from Mount Vernon High School, Skagit Valley College, and Western Washington University. She'll be obtaining a master's in education with a focus on leadership and policy studies from the University of Washington. She plans to seek further education after that point and obtain her PhD. She serves as the Assistant Executive Director for the Foundation for Academic Endeavors, which is a nonprofit that works to break down barriers to educational achievement for our youth. She worked with migrant youth through a program entitled Dare to Dream. She's an advocate in our community for educational justice and immigrants' rights. She also co-authored a chapter from the published book entitled Studying Latinx Students in Higher Education, a critical analysis of concepts, theories, and methodologies. She is an advocate in our community for educational justice and immigrant rights.
Thank you, Heather, and congratulations to Dania, Tamara, Anna, and Cynthia. Over the years, Swan has been able to award $55,000 worth of educational scholarships to women in Skagit County. This wouldn't be possible without your generous donations. Let's see where some of these women are now.
Hi, my name is Maddie Mckenzie, and in 2018 I was the recipient of a Swan Scholarship. I used it to complete my MBA. Now I'm the Executive Director of Skagit Community Foundation. We're an organization that also distributes and manages scholarship funds, and what I've noticed, seeing both personally and professionally is that there are a lot of scholarships available to graduating high school seniors and not as many available to those choosing to return to school or to continue their education. It was really powerful for me to receive the scholarship because I knew working full-time and going back to school, I was putting a lot on my plate and taking a big risk, both financially and with my time and my lifestyle. And so to know that the community really supported me through all of that was really valuable and really important. The recognition and acknowledgement was really profound for me to be able to sit amongst a group of women leaders in our community and to be recognized and to feel like they got to know me in a way through hearing my story, knowing my aspirations, and was really meaningful for me to be a part of that.
My name is Andrea Alanis, and I'm the Marketing and Outreach Librarian at the Mount Vernon City Library. I was a recipient of the Continuing Education Swan Scholarship 3 years ago. Going back to school after you have already been out of school for a long time is a huge decision. For me personally, being a single parent and knowing that the amount of time I was going to be spending doing schoolwork was going to take time away from my family, and then thinking of also the financial burden that that was going to have an impact on my family as well. And so it was really, it just actually gave me a big boost of confidence receiving that first scholarship, and then I was able to move forward and apply for more scholarships, which was obviously very helpful financially, but also, like I said, a big confidence boost as I was going into this program. I hadn't been in school for like 20 years, so it's a big undertaking to go back to school, when you're a little bit older. It was really nerve-wracking at first, but that kind of helped ease some of my anxiety and gave me kind of a big, just a big boost to like, yes, you can do this. There's these people that believe in you, and they have awarded you this scholarship because they believe in what you want to do and what your goals are for yourself.
My name is Flores Zamorano. I was born in Mexico, and I have lived in Mount Vernon for 16 years. The Swan Scholarship lightened my financial burden and allowed me to focus in school, and also allowed me to spend more time with my daughter, who before I applied for the scholarship, I was pregnant, and when I received it, she was already born. So this allowed me to spend more time with my daughter as a first-time mom. This was very special for me. I think it's important to support women in education with scholarships because it empowers them to do what they want to do in education. It's oftentimes very hard for women to pursue their dreams because a lot of times they don't pursue their education because they start a family, they have to take care of kids, and it's also very hard to get childcare, and most of the time it's the woman who has to stay home and take care of the kids. And I think receiving a Swan Scholarship is very empowering to women to continue their dreams.
We are so proud of these women and their accomplishments. Our goal this year is to raise $8,000 to continue to support Skagit County women with their education endeavors. Swan board member Samantha Calkins is going to kick off our live fundraising by talking about our high-valued raffle baskets.
Thank you, Morgan. I'm Samantha Calkins, a 2021 Swan board member, here to tell you a little bit about the 4 bundles that we have available for raffle this evening. As you can see behind us, we have some of the items here in studio, and I can't wait to tell you all about them. We have quite the goal for next year. We're hoping to raise $8,000 this evening so that we can distribute $2,000 each to 4 awardees next year for their academic endeavors. The first package that I'm going to go over with you is the Spa and Relaxation Basket. You can see these items right here. This is valued at over $1,200. With this package, not only will you get gift certificates for spa treatments of your choice, you'll also get an overnight stay at the Swinomish Casino, as well as dinner at the 13 Moons restaurant. You'll get bath bombs, books, chocolate, champagne, candy, and so much more, plus a super cozy blanket for nice fall nights like today. Secondly, we have a very impressive gift card tree. This gift card bundle is valued at $1,600. You'll get gift cards to Starbucks, Woods, and Woodby Coffee, so your caffeine needs will be covered for months. In addition, you'll get gift cards to Papa Murphy's Pizza, local grocery stores, Mexico Cafe, Maxdale's, the Stanwood Grill, Koa, and many more. Next and third, we have our outdoor and sports bundle valued again at $1,200. My personal favorite items in this bundle are 4 Sounders tickets that are for the November 1st game. Those are valued at $300, so that's our big ticket item. In addition, we have a pair of Leupold sunglasses valued at $190. You can sport those while you're working in your yard with your new Ace Hardware gloves, wheelbarrow, and rake. Plus, we have some fun games for outdoors too, such as cornhole and giant Jenga. You can sit back and relax while you sip on your new Seahawks water bottle in a handcrafted wooden lawn chair. Maybe invite the neighbors over to break in that new Seahawks grill set that you can put to good use too. Lastly, but certainly not least, we have our wine barrel. This is a very popular item. It has 45 bottles of wine in it for you to enjoy. And remember, raffle tickets are only $5 each, so that's $5 and you could get 45 bottles of wine. No need to purchase wine this holiday season if you win this impressive and tasty basket. You'll be set for months. The links to each of these packages are in the chat box now, so if you open up the chat feature in Zoom or if you're on Facebook Live, you can see them in there as well. Click the link to the basket that you're interested in, buy some tickets, and help us meet our goal. Again, that's $8,000 to help award these really deserving recipients money so that they're able to continue their academic goals. You can also visit our website after our show this evening. That's swanskagit.com, or our Facebook page, Skagit Women's Alliance and Network. You can reach out to any of the board members. We'd be happy to help you in this process. In addition, you can mail checks for donations to our P.O. Box, which is 261 in Burlington. Again, that's P.O. Box 261 in Burlington. Tickets for the raffle will be available until Sunday at 5 o'clock, so make sure you get your tickets before then. Share the link with your friends and family. We really need your help to achieve our goal this year. Winners will be announced and contacted on Monday the 25th, so only a couple more days to get those tickets. We're so grateful for your support of our scholarship program. Of course, we could not do what we do without our donors and our sponsors, so thank you to all the wonderful businesses that helped us procure and donate these items. And of course, thank you to everyone who's buying raffles and supporting what we do. We really couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha. And thank you for everyone who has donated to the fund so far. Before we move into the presentation of Women of the Year Awards, I would like to take a moment and acknowledge our 2021 Selection Committee. Julie Blazik, Anita Ordonez, and Sue Creenan. Now, it is my honor to pass our program over to our co-presenting sponsor, Skagit Publishing. Please join me in welcoming Heather Hernandez, President of Skagit Publishing, to present our 2021 Swan Women of the Year Awards.
Thanks, Morgan. Good evening, everyone. Tonight is a special night, and I wish everyone could be in studio with us because there's an amazing group of women that we're getting ready to talk about, and it's my pleasure to be here tonight. Though we can't be together for safety reasons, we have the opportunity through technology to congratulate and celebrate our Swan nominees, finalists, and recipients on the 37th anniversary of the event. Thanks so much for joining us. My name's Heather Hernandez. I'm the president and publisher of Skagit Publishing. It's my pleasure to be able to be with our award recipients tonight. Our organization has co-presented this event since Swan's inception in the mid-'80s. I've been here in the county now for over a decade myself, and have had the pleasure of serving on the Swan board, along with presenting these awards each year to some very impressive women. I've witnessed the evolution this group has made to ensure that it is able to continue to fulfill its mission of recognizing and supporting women who make a difference in our region, and I'm proud to be a continued partner with Swan. Before we get too much further into the Women of the Year recipient presentation, I'd like to take a moment to recognize all of our 2021 nominees and finalists. Swan had a very impressive group of nominees and finalists this year. The The board recently had an opportunity to present each of these deserving women a certificate for their nomination. The 2021 nominees for Rising Swan are Guillermina Bazante, Miranda Wilson, Lorena Perez, and Nicole Long. The 2021 Women of the Year nominees are Elizabeth Churape Garcia, Monique Brigham, and Doobie Pettit. The 2021 Women of the Year finalists are Basilia Quiros Ruiz, Amelia Cook, Yadira Rosales, and Annette Pankey. Please join me in congratulating all of our nominees and finalists for 2021. Swan was formed to recognize the often unsung heroines who have made Skagit County a better place. The Women of the Year Awards are designed to recognize and honor women who have made an extraordinary contribution in professional achievement, mentorship of women, or community engagement. This year, it is expanded to include a fourth category, Transformative Leadership. This award honors a woman who enacts social change. She works towards a healthy and just community with a goal of empowering marginalized groups. In addition to recognition, the Swan Board works hard each year to raise funds through sponsorships and raffles to award scholarships aimed at helping women succeed in their continuing education goals. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to make a donation or buy a raffle ticket to make sure the tradition of scholarship continues well into the future. I'd like to extend a special thank you to our long-term jeweler, Janie Dodge. Janie's been filling the role of official jeweler of Swan for many years, first through Chelan Jewelers, and currently as the owner of Pave Jewelry and Design. We had the opportunity earlier to pin our Women of the Year recipients this evening. Janie, thank you for your support of Swan and donating the pins each year for our honorees. So now it is my privilege to honor the Swan Women of the Year recipients for 2021, who have done so much for our county. These 4 women are a force, and I feel honored to be in their presence tonight and share their stories. As I introduce them, I'll talk briefly about each woman's accomplishments and the award that she is being presented tonight. Then she will get a chance to accept the award, have a photograph taken, and say a few words. Our first Swan Woman of the Year for 2021 is Julie De La Sada. Julie is currently a senior analyst for Skagit Public Health. She has vast experience in behavioral and mental health sectors, and most recently in the public health sector. These days, she also carries the title of Emergency Preparedness and Response Manager for Skagit County. No one would doubt that managing the emergency response during a pandemic is a big job. Julie has spent well over a year managing the county's COVID-19 testing and vaccination sites and organizing many mobile clinics. Her nominator highlighted Julie as a servant leader. She helps get the word out to a diverse community and has set up a bicultural and bilingual response team that is comprised mostly of women. The nomination form said that Julie De La Sada leads with innovation and integrity as if she was born to lead, because she was. Julie, let me thank you for the remarkable career you've had and for the hard work you've done during this pandemic for our community. Our community and your profession are stronger because of your impact. Please join me to receive the 2021 Swan Woman of the Year Award for Professional Achievement.
Thank you.
All right. If you know me, I cry at these things, so I'm going to try really hard not to cry more than I already am. Good evening, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here tonight, to be recognized as a Woman of the Year and a Swan recipient. As I look to the women that I share this award with tonight and to the women before me, I see so much strength, so much integrity, so much courage, and so much passion. being nominated for this award, I couldn't help but pause and ask myself, why me? Why am I included with this group of women? Why am I here tonight? Why at this point in my career? And I think it might not be one reason. I think it's a combination of reasons that came together and are inextricably tied together by a little bit of serendipity and a little bit of fate. I think I'm standing here tonight because I took a risk, because I said 4 important words: I will do it. There are times in our life where I believe we are challenged in ways we simply didn't expect. We're asked to do things that we don't even think we know how to do. And sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's exciting, but either way, right there in that moment, we have to decide, what are we gonna do? What action am I gonna take? When I heard the call to action to respond to COVID-19, I said, I'll do it. I'll take the first shift. I really had no idea what I was volunteering to do, or actually voluntolding to do. Our whole department was involved, every single one of us. I didn't know if I knew how to do the job I accepted, and I absolutely did not know how it was going to impact me, my community, or my family. But I said I'll do it. And I have this little joke that I say in that moment, in that split second, I took off my silk scarf, I bought myself some weatherproof boots, I put a 25-year career in mental health policy on the back burner, and I jumped into the world of public health emergency response with 2 feet. And honestly, I have not looked back. This is the best thing ever. I think I'm also here tonight, not just because I took a risk, but because other people were brave, because they heard the call to action too, and they said, I'll do this with you. I cannot tell you how lucky I am to work with almost 300 volunteers, agency partners, and staff from public health every single day. We come together with one single focus, and that is to provide equitable, low-barrier access to COVID-19 testing and vaccine in Skagit County. We've had some very long days. We've had freezing rain and snow. We've had winds that literally blew our tents and our porta potties across the parking lot. But nothing stops this elite team of awesomeness. Nothing stops them from giving it their all every single day. I have to give a special thank you and shout out to Bianca Ochoa, to Danielle Freeman, and to Arlie Movitz. The 3 of you have been with me, boots on the ground, every single day for the last 19 months. We do this together, and I thank you. I'm also here tonight because of strong leaders and mentors in my life, because Public Health Director Jennifer Johnson, you challenged me to grow at a time and in a place where I didn't expect it. Because Skagit County Sheriff Office Chief Chris Baldwin had confidence enough in me to give me the keys to the incident command post. And because Claudia Avendano Ibarra, you lead with every single step you take. You heard the call to action too, and you volunteered. Thank you for nominating me for this award. It is such a blessing to share this with you tonight. Thank you as well to the Swan Selection Committee for seeing something in me that represented your mission and your values. So I think I'm standing here tonight because I took risks, because I had brave people around me, because I had strong leaders and mentors. And I know I'm standing here tonight because of my loving family. My husband Eric and I have a saying that we are better together, and that has never been more true than it is now. Eric and my daughter Lauren have supported me every single second of the last 546 days. They have put up with 80-hour work weeks, with no weekends, with me constantly talking about COVID case rates, and with me always having my cell phone in my hand. And honestly, that phone thing probably started before COVID. It's a very bad habit. I'm sorry, family. I love you. I'm working on it. In closing, I want to share something with you that a mentor once shared with me. And they shared it with me in Spanish, and that's how it sank into my heart. And so I'm going to try to share it with you in Spanish first as well. My mentor said, "Dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres." Tell me who you walk with, and I will tell you who you are. Tonight, Claudia, Tina, Eris, Anna, Judge Goddard, I walk with you. It is an honor, and I'm humbled. Thank you. Congratulations. Our next Swan Woman of the Year is Eris Carias. Some of you may already know Eris because of her public-facing position as Mount Vernon City Council member, but she's been active in other roles a little farther from the public eye. She's been a migrant program educator with the Mount Vernon School District and a family liaison with Community Action of Skagit County, among others. Through her advocacy, she connects with families and the women who keep them going. Her drive to take part and make a difference comes largely from her own background. Eris immigrated from Honduras decades ago, walking into an unfamiliar world. She has spent years now helping people to manage life in an unfamiliar place. Eris has served as an advocate for many and has seen a lot of other women step up to help their community. She says she would like for more of those strong women to be recognized for their efforts. Well, today, Eris, it's your turn to be recognized for your many years of serving as a role model for all women. Please come forward and accept the 2021 Swan Woman of the Year Award for Mentorship of Women.
Good evening. Friends, families, students, and public in general. Humbly, this is an honor for me to be here and just to be recognized in something probably I do not deserve, because we have so many women. I would like to emphasize how many more women behind me, they should be recognized to do or be in my shoes tonight here, because probably they do the hardest work on the fields, on the factories, taking care of the children, working in restaurants, working everywhere. And those hardest duties that I ever have done. But just to be here is something like I wouldn't expect. I want to be recognized. The person who nominated me for this award and is Lorena Perez. Is a young woman who works on the social fields in this community, serving other families. I want to thank, because probably she saw in me something she thought it could be highlighted, and I haven't seen. Because the only thing I can see of myself is just to be somebody who likes and he enjoys what I do as a worker in this community, and it's a blessing for me to see the families, how they respond for the services I provide. I don't want to talk too much about myself, just to introduce my name. My name is Eris Carias, and I am an immigrant like many of us here tonight. For different reasons, we left our homes in faraway lands, and we settled in a country where we have knocked many doors, and we have opened those doors, and we have grown as an individuals and members in this community. I think today is a day we are celebrating a beautiful event, an historic day in this community. We never seen many Latino women nominated for Swan organization as this year. And I would like to thank everybody who did these things happen and being possible. Like I said before, my truly desire is to see many women being recognized in these kind of events, just to lift them up and honor them for the kind of job they do. For tonight, I just want to leave you all with a message for love and dignity. And it comes from a poet, Honduran poet. His name is Alfonso Guillén Zelaya. And what he talks is about the essential of life. And what he said is, the essential of life is not to be a poet, is not to be a philosopher, is not to be an artist. The essential in life is that each one has the dignity of their work, the pride of doing things well, the enthusiasm and the feelings, and satisfied with their work, of loving it and admiring it. No job well done is worthless. None is worth more. We all represent forces capable of creating. We are all something necessary and valuable in this march of the world from the moment we enter and fight the battle of the future. I just want to thank to my family here in Honduras, to my lovely daughter who's in California, and Jesus, her partner, and I would like to thank to all my co-workers, colleagues, my supervisors, my friends, but mostly all those families in Mount Vernon. They always give me support. They embrace with me as a family. You all are my family in Mount Vernon, and I am so proud and delightful to say this is my community, this is my home. Then if I do have a second, I would like to say my speech in a little bit in Spanish, because people in Honduras is watching this moment, and it's historic for me. It's historical. Yeah. And I just want to let them know I got a pin from Swan organization, and this is something like it's so meaningful to me. Buenas noches a todos mis amigos, mi familia aquí en Honduras, a mis colegas, a mis compañeros de trabajo y a todas esas familias que día a día han abierto sus puertas para que yo pueda servirles y para traerlos todos juntos y hacer una sola obra de trabajo. Quiero enfatizar que atrás de mí hay muchas mujeres resilientes, valientes, trabajadoras, con muchas situaciones de vida que quizás no sean las mías. Y quisiera verlas caminar en mis zapatos el día de hoy, porque vale la pena verlas aquí, levantarlas, ensalzarlas y honorar sus vidas como sus trabajos. Me gustaría en este momento dar gracias a Lorena Pérez, que es una joven luchadora también de esta comunidad, que provee servicios a donde le toca ir. Y mi deseo en un futuro es que quisiera ver más nominaciones como estas para nuestras jóvenes mujeres, para nuestros estudiantes, jóvenes que luchan día a día, mano a mano, y que son el futuro de no solamente de esta sociedad, sino del mundo entero. No quiero hablar mucho sobre mi persona, pero solamente introducir mi nombre, presentarme como Eris Carias. Soy una inmigrante, como muchas de nosotras aquí, que viajó de tierras lejanas para asentarse en un país extranjero, donde toqué muchas puertas. Todos hemos tocado puertas, y con la voluntad de gente buena, esas puertas se han abierto y nos han ofrecido la oportunidad de crecer y de convertirnos en seres de servicio. Y solamente quisiera dejar en este momento un mensaje de amor, de orgullo y de mucho de mucho coraje. Y es un escrito de un poeta hondureño, de Alfonso Guillén Zelaya, y él habla de lo que es lo esencial en la vida. Y dice que lo esencial es no ser un poeta, no ser un artista, no ser un filósofo, que lo esencial en la vida es que cada uno tenga la dignidad de realizar su trabajo, de hacerlo con amor, de hacerlo con respeto, de enamorarse de su trabajo y de dignificarlo. No hay ningún trabajo más ni un trabajo menos que no sea digno de hacerlo. Y en la manera como desarrollamos nuestras tareas es como también nos dignificamos. Y eso es lo que nos hace mejores seres humanos y mejores trabajadores y mejores servidores. Muchas gracias a toda mi familia aquí en Honduras, a mi amada hija que está en California, mi hija Alejandra, y su novio Jesús, y todos mis compañeros de trabajo, mis supervisores, mis amigos, mis vecinos y todas las familias y mis compañeros de trabajo, que sin ellos, sin un equipo de trabajo, yo no podría llevar a cabo mi labor en esta comunidad. Muchas gracias, que Dios los bendiga y que todos tengan mucha suerte. Gracias.
Congratulations, Eris. Our third Woman of the Year award goes to Tina Tate. Tina has made a tremendous impact in her community through her work, volunteer efforts, and genuine interest in making Skagit County the best it can be for everyone. Tina's journey at the Friendship House started as a volunteer before she became its executive director in 2014, a role she has flourished in. She's taken the organization to new levels, offering more services and support for people without homes with grace. Tina's been a part of some important community organizations such as Leadership Skagit, Toastmasters, and now serves as a member of the United General Hospital Board. Tina will tell you she often shares her own life story to inspire others that they can do anything. She is living proof that how you start is not how you have to finish. Her work history also includes a decade-long stint as part of the Skagit Publishing family. And though I had nothing to do with choosing tonight's winners, I do know that Tina deserves this award as much as anyone could. In addition to the direct impact she has on helping people who need it the most, she's worked tirelessly with other local agencies and governments to set up programs and partnerships to do as much good as possible. Tina's the first to tell you that collaboration is everything, and she's taken great strides to work with others to make amazing things happen in our community. It is my pleasure to present the 2021 Swan Women of the Year Award for Community Engagement to Tina Tate.
Thank you so much for that, Heather. What an incredible honor it is to be a part of the exceptional, courageous, and daring women that have received this award now and in the past. This award for me is validation of my belief in myself and that the work I do actually does make a difference. 17 years ago, I was a customer service representative at the Skagit Valley Herald. I had just come out of homelessness. I was living at the Friendship House when I started working at the Skagit Valley Herald and considered myself a nobody. I had no self-confidence and I did not believe in myself. One day, one of my coworkers had just come back to the office after delivering the Swan Women of the Year program to the event. He picked up the program and he pointed at the picture of the women on the cover and he said, "See this? This is going to be you someday. That's just the kind of person that you are." I shook my head and picked up the phone. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Did you not receive your newspaper today? I will get that right out to you. Yeah, sure. That'll be me someday. He was the first person to believe in me when I didn't. My direct supervisor believed in me too, as did the circulation director, who ultimately became my mentor. But I still considered myself a nobody, doing nothing of importance. When I went to my first Swan Women of the Year award banquet, I was in awe of the incredible women that represented this great community. I was inspired and wanted so badly to be like them, but I still didn't believe in myself. I only had a GED and 1 year of college, so I didn't think I had the ability to do much of importance. When I became the executive director of the Friendship House 7 years ago, I knew that I had to make a difference in the lives of the people in our community that had been marginalized and suffering. I still didn't believe in myself, but I was starting to. Since then, I have helped the growth of Friendship House by adding additional shelter beds and more sophisticated programs. Right now, we have 100 more beds than we did a couple of years ago. And with the expansion of the Skagit First Step Center in the near future, we will be able to have shelter about 190 of our neighbors. When I met all of the women who had been nominated, my first reaction was, there's no way I'm going to receive an award. There were so many women that had been nominated that were doing incredible work of fighting for justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. I thought of all the years for me to be nominated, it would be the year that I have no chance to win. I believed that the other women were much more deserving because of what they were fighting for. Then I realized I was fighting for the same thing, just in a different way. I was fighting for the marginalized in poverty and suffering. I let self-doubt creep in again and told myself I didn't deserve this honor. Now I believe that I can do anything that I put my mind to. And what I want more than anything is to make the world better for everyone. Big dreams, right? But now I can believe that I can do just that. Oh yes, I sometimes have moments of self-doubt, as we all do, but I know that if I take it one day at a time and put in the work, I can do anything I put my mind to. My favorite quote is, "Only those who will risk going too far can possibly know how far one can go." Thank you, Rebecca Scrindy, for nominating me, and to all the other wonderful people out there who believe in me too. I hope to make you proud, but mostly I hope to make myself proud. So this woman that went from homelessness to Swan Woman of the Year award winner is just like every woman out there who doesn't think their dreams are possible. But let me tell you, they are possible. You just have to take one step at a time and believe in yourself. Thank you.
Finally, our last Woman of the Year recipient for 2021 is Claudia Avendano Ibarra. Claudia has made inclusion and diversity her business, literally. Her newly formed company, Rice Consulting and Counseling, goes into the community and provides diversity, equity, and inclusion training for companies and various groups in the county. But her journey didn't start there. She worked for decades as a social worker and an educator. She worked with young people in crisis and then took a faculty position at the Skagit Valley College Human Services Department, where she continues her passion in teaching, mentoring, and advocacy. She says that women of color were her role models, and she aims to do the same for generations to come. Claudia has co-founded 2 specific efforts in the community that continue to make a lasting impact. The LVMS Multicultural Night, and the Maestros Paro El Pueblo program. Claudia makes a particular effort to share resources because she knows they can help people. She even set up a formalized resource called Claudia's List, a social media-based list of services, jobs, events, and more. Her entire career has focused on advocating and lifting people up in underrepresented groups. And for that reason and more, Claudia, please accept the 2021 Woman of the Year Award for Transformative Leadership.
Well, I came prepared. Thank you, everyone. It's really overwhelming to be here in front of so many incredible women. Buenas noches a todos. I am moved by this recognition, and I feel so honored and so encouraged. I'm kind of happy that my friends took a little longer because, whew, that makes me feel so much better. I'll probably just be a tidbit longer myself. Swan and community. With you believing in me, I want you to know that you granting me this trust, you place the burden of responsibility on me. And this is a responsibility that I accept with gratitude. And let me start by acknowledging tonight that I stand on the shoulders of my ancestors, of my immigrant grandparents and parents. They sacrificed home, and they stormed uncertainty and rejection and poverty. And their trajectory changed, and my trajectory changed, and my family's trajectory changed because of their sacrifice. I am here primarily because of them. Through the years, I have ran into a lot of roadblocks, and I've also had a lot of love and support from women and men that have helped me in my path. And they've helped me find my why and my courage, and they encourage me to seek opportunity and equity and also to engage in action. I also would be remiss if I don't say thank you to Erin Long, who couldn't be here tonight, but Erin, amiga, thank you for lifting me. I also want to thank the committee, the selection committee, Anita Ordonez and Judy Blasek and Sue Crinan, everyone from Swan, including our Swan president, Morgan Curry, who's just done a phenomenal job. And congratulations to all the incredible women that are nominated and involved in this work. You are my Swan. Let me just say that, you are my Swan. So this year, for everybody's health and wellness, here we are online again. But even though it's different, it comes with new possibilities. And for example, I'm really excited that women at home may be listening and looking at me and looking at us, looking at my colleagues here and saying, hey, maybe even in a different language. They may be saying, hey, she looks like me. Hey, that's kind of like my story. Her story is like mine. That is really inspiring to me. And for me, being here today makes solidarity possible. The granddaughter, the daughter of immigrants, stands before you today. A first-generation college student, a first-generation faculty member, unbelievable, and I love it. A first-generation board member, and it just keeps going. It's a first-time experience for me. And the support of many has been my lifeline. It really has. And the idea that we might inspire other women really feeds me courage. Yes, representation matters. This is also why I am so inspired to have heard the speech of Dr. Laura Caillou and guest speaker Janie Beasley. I have noted representation, And I've been inspired by women that advocate and that are courageous, that are having courageous conversations, and that ensure that we are hearing the unheard. So that we can all be in relationship with someone that fully sees us, with our gifts and also our imperfections. And that creates connection with us. Really, when we all are able to do that, that makes a difference for us, all. We all get to be stronger together. I often ask myself, how do we continue to work together? How do we make voices for the marginalized, for everybody? And like Dr. Caillou said, I invite you to please join me in conversation about making authentic space for more than, just to name a few examples, more than cisgender, more than able-bodied, for folks of the global majority. I challenge us to continue to create a Skagit in a world where we no longer support what is oppressive to the real us. Imagine, but I ask that we progress from imagining, because it is possible, because it is about courage, and it is about action, and that is what women do. We take action, and we are courageous. We can do this. It is time to be vulnerable. It is time to be real. It is time to beat fear. These spaces are led with courage. We're leading with courage. We're leading with love, and we are transforming, which is why I'm so touched that I'm getting the Transformative Award. I'd like to close by saying, tú eres mi yo, you are my me. And I want to thank everyone, especially my husband, who is always helping me and putting up with me and supporting me, and my daughter, who is my #1 hero, and my son, who is my #1 hero as well, but the boy version, of course. Thank you, everyone. Good night. And I'm so honored to be here.
Congratulations again to Julie, Eris, Tina, and Claudia, our 2021 Swan Women of the Year awardees. I would now like to invite our Swan Vice President, Stephanie Bigley-Carrillo, to join me up here. I have something for you.
You do. It has been an honor to serve as your vice president, and I hope to continue the legacy that Swan has. We'll continue and project it forward. So thank you.
Stephanie has worked tirelessly to keep the Swan legacy alive. She has put in countless of nights, early mornings, and weekends doing a lot of the nitty-gritty and behind-the-scenes work, and she is constantly keeping the future of Swan in the forefront of her mind. It has been an honor to work and to grow with Stephanie. I would now like to pass it off to her for closing remarks.
Like you said, it's been an honor to serve under you as a vice president and hopefully continue the legacy that Swan has and project it forward. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Gracias a todos que los acompañaron hoy. A special thank you to our sponsors, because without you, this event would not be possible. Once again, congratulations to the amazing women who are here and have been a recipient. To the wonderful women who have shared their stories, we thank you. To all the women who were nominated, your continued work only will enrich this community by moving forward. Your stories echo the voices of the past and ripple to the voices of the future. Because without these amazing women, who are part of your tribe and the supporting men, we know we stand on them. I'd like to remind you that our raffle is open until Sunday, October 24th, 5 p.m. Thank you to all the local businesses who did a contribution to the raffle. Good luck. Mucha suerte. La rifa se cierra el domingo, el 24, a las 5 de la tarde. Así para que si no han tenido la chance de comprar su boleto, por favor, háganlo. Todos los fondos que recolectamos se van a las becas. I invite you to save the date for the next year's Women of the Year banquet. Hopefully we'll be live, which will be on October 20th, 2022, and we hope to see you there. Nominations for the Women of the Year 2022, Rising Swan, and the Swan Scholarship will open at the beginning of the year. As you can tell, it's a tongue twister with all those 20s, and 22s. Doesn't help that what I'm doing. Once again, thank you for joining us for this amazing event. Without the support of everyone who is live in the studio, this cannot be possible for the legacy that Swan is and will continue to be. I will now invite the Women of the Year and the Rising Swan to join me. And this concludes our 2021 Women of the Year event. Have a wonderful night, everyone.